आवाज नीलम मैडम का म्यूट है।
हाँ मेरा म्यूट है, अभी एडमिन उन्होंने म्यूट किया हुआ है आलोक ने।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है मैडम।
माथुर सर नमस्कार।
मैम नमस्कार, मदन लाल जी नमस्कार, निकल साहब नमस्कार, सर नमस्कार, गोयल साहब नमस्कार सर।
नमस्कार जी, नमस्कार सर।
सभी लोगों को नमस्कार।
I think Sharma sir we can start.
हाँ जी मैम।
शर्मा जी म्यूट हो गए आप, म्यूट हो गए आप।
शर्मा जी अनम्यूट करो, आप म्यूट हो।
म्यूट हो सर, आप अनम्यूट कीजिए शर्मा जी।
हेलो जी सर। हाँ सर, तो अपने सेकंड, क्योंकि अभी तो वहाँ मॉर्निंग में 3 बज रहे होंगे, तो वो हाँ वो थोड़ी देर बाद अभी, हाँ हम स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं। वो करीब ज्वाइन कर लेगा 5:45 या
श्रेया मैम।
जी सर।
हेलो श्रेया मैम।
जी सर। हाँ जी सर।
श्रेया मैम।
हाँ जी सर। हाँ जी सर। हाँ जी सर। Sir, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
हेलो।
Yes, sir.
हेलो।
Sharma sir, I think we should
श्रेया
start.
मैम, you may continue now.
All right, sir. Sir, are we waiting for chairman, sir, or we'll still start?
जी जी जी।
ठीक है. Okay, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Please, you may continue.
Yes, sir.
Founder chairman sir is not going to join. He is busy somewhere else.
All right, sir.
So he has given the best to us.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Department of Information Technology, Maharaja Agrasen Institute of Technology, I feel privileged to extend my warm welcome to everyone present here. I would like to specially welcome our Vice Chairman MAIT, Professor Dr. M.L. Goyal, Director MAIT, Professor Dr. Neelam Sharma, all the HODs, our distinguished speaker, Mr. Mridul Mahan and Mr. Siddharth Singh, my faculty colleagues and all the participants. The topic for today's webinar is Digital Infrastructure in Corporates. Digital transformation is a global tendency in all forms of business to shift from physical operating models and value delivery to digital models. Technology has been leading the world to hyper-digitalization era. To survive in this rapidly changing world, every industry has to change at the same pace. Digital infrastructure is defined by a focus on enabling business agility and unparalleled user experiences that bring in customer engagement and loyalty. Today's webinar by our extremely distinguished speakers is going to help us dive into the world of digital infrastructure, what it means for corporates, and also the changing role of IT professionals in the industry. We would like to begin today's event with Saraswati Vandana. Casey, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, Saraswati Vandana.
Just a minute, ma'am. Shreya, ma'am, I think
Yes,
we
sir.
should proceed. We are actually Saraswati Vandana is not playing properly. अभी मैंने भास्कर सर से ही बात की. तो
ठीक है सर।
वो उसका ऑडियो में प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है, so
All
I
right,
think we can with the permission of HOD sir, I think we can move on and
Yes, we can proceed now.
all right, sir. Thank you, sir. We are glad to have our director, respected Professor Dr. Neelam Sharma, with us. I will now request ma'am to please address the participants.
मैम म्यूट है,
ma'am you are
म्यूट है
muted.
अभी भी म्यूट है मैम आप।
मैम आप अनम्यूट कर लीजिए अपने आप को। हाँ मैम अनम्यूट कर लीजिए, आपको परमिशन है मैम अनम्यूट करने की।
शायद दिखा नहीं रहा है क्या मैम के उसमें?
नहीं सर ऐसा नहीं होगा क्योंकि सिर्फ म्यूट है मैम, प्रेजेंटर्स में ही है।
हाँ मैम तो प्रेजेंटर में दिख रही हैं, तो
लेकिन कोई स्टार दिखाई दे रहा है उनको साथ में।
हाँ
मैम कुछ डिफरेंट सिंबल भी है साथ में।
हाँ हाँ
हाँ।
बिल्कुल।
वो सर मैंने
चीज़-
स्पॉटलाइट किया मैम को, मैम इज ऑन स्पॉटलाइट।
अच्छा ओके
अच्छा तो
Am I audible now?
यस मैम, यस
ऑडिबल मैम,
Yes,
ऑडिबल,
ma'am.
क्वाइट ऑडिबल।
Okay. So, respected founder and chief advisor Dr. Nand Kishore Garg, Chancellor Maharaja Agrasen University and 3 times XMLA, Delhi Vidhan Sabha. Unfortunately, due to some prior occupancy, he is not able to join us in this webinar today, but his blessings are there with us. I also formally welcome our Vice Chairman Academics and also Director General of Maharaja Agrasen Institute of Technology, Professor Dr. M.L. Goyal, who is always there to encourage and motivate us. I extend my warm welcome to Mr. Siddharth Singh, Senior Technical Manager at Amazon, Seattle, USA. He will be joining us shortly, and he is one of the experts who is going to deliver a talk for us, and he is going to address our students and also going to motivate our students in a number of ways. He has spared his valuable time to deliver his expert talk. I had a long chat with him over the phone just a couple of days back, and almost for half an hour. And Mr. Siddharth Singh is very knowledgeable. He has been a scientist in ISRO as well. I was just going through his resume, and he has been at Bangalore in Amazon for a very, very long time. He is well acquainted with our institute, Maharaja Agrasen Institute of Technology. Our students have joined Amazon. He is acquainted with our students as well. And he wants to motivate and encourage our students to join Amazon, and is also going to, give us support for that. So the only thing that is expected from the students is quality. As I keep on saying in all my talks, that you can be employable at the rate of 15,000 rupees per month and 15 lakh rupees per annum as well. And also our students are going at package of crores just after passing out BTech. So that is, a commendable achievement. So quality is everything that is desired out of the students. I also extend a very warm welcome to Mr. Mridul Mahan. He is also there with us, Head of Investment Banking Technology, Dept Bank, a German bank. And I have also interacted with him, talked to him on the phone for a long time, and we had a long chat. And both of us, we felt happy to talk
sir.
with one another. So one very good thing that I would like to announce at the starting of this webinar is that he has promised to take 5 of our students in his bank at a package of 15 lakhs. So I think it is a big round of applause for him. So, he has promised to take 5 students at a package of 15 lakhs. And another thing is that I talked with him at length about hackathon, and also I talked to him about Texaj and Mridang, the festival that we organize every year. He was very happy to hear about it. He is well versed with hackathon, and he is also dealing with students and hackathon sessions. And our students, he also said that his bank would be more than happy to sponsor these events for our students. Namita ma'am, so this is again another, a big boom for you
Yes.
that,
Yes.
he has promised to, sponsor Hack with Mate and hackathons that we organize and the Tech Surge and Mridang and take our students as well. So while I was talking to him, he said that generally their bank, they are hiring from IITs, NIITs and institutes like BITS, Pilani, Thapar. So they are going for big institutions, but he knows that MAIT students are at par and they are very good as well. So he said that he is going to hire them at the same package. The only thing that he desires is quality. Our students, they have that. They have to brush up and come up in a big way so that the number grows from 5 to multiples of 5 every year. So, students, all those who are listening to me, prepare yourselves for this. I also welcome on the onset the Dean Academics, Dr. S.S. Deswal. He is also busy with admissions today, so he could not join. I welcome Professor Dr. M.L. Sharma, the Head of Department Information Technology, who has been working very hard from the past 15 years, making posters, making notices, getting in touch with all of us, and organizing e-conferences has become a little typical because we have to from remote areas we are connected to one another, so we have to be very perfect once we are meeting on a digital platform. I also welcome all the heads of the department, Dr. Namita Gupta, also Mr. Mridul. I would like to, just tell you that Namita is the Spock for the hackathon. So, she is also very active in organizing the hackathons. And we have Dr. V.N. Mathur, Dr. Rajveer Mittal, Dr. Sunil Mathur, Dr. Amit Gupta, Dr. Vaibhav Jain, Dr. Chandra Prakash, Dr. Kusum Sharma, Dr. Shikha Saxena, Dr. Anil Kumar. So all senior professors are there over here listening to this webinar. I acknowledge the efforts of Professor Dr. Amita Goyal and also Dr. K.C. Tripathi, the conveners of this event. Both the acquaintances today, they are good friends of Dr. K.C. Tripathi, and he has, this college is his home. So he has motivated his friends to deliver talks and to take some of our students. So that is really very nice, and I encourage all the faculty to come up in the same manner. Both of them are batchmates of Dr. Tripathi. The webinar today, it is going to throw light on the technology used in the corporate sector, and the students will learn how to make themselves more employable with the guidance and support of the experts. They will have the perspective to the view of the digital logistics. So lot has to be learned, and both the experts, they have gone a very long way, almost 20-22 years experience they've had, because an engineer right from the age of 21, he's in the field and he's struggling, and at the age of say suppose 40 or 42, you have already gone a long way, almost 20 years working day in and day night. And once you have an international exposure, you have learned so many things and you have so many things to tell the students. So once again, a very warm welcome to our experts. I'm sure everybody is going to enjoy the session. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for always encouraging us and providing us with an opportunity to learn about new technologies, keeping us abreast with latest developments in the tech world. We are delighted to have our Vice Chairman mates, Professor Dr. M.L. Goyal, with us today. I would like to request Sir to please address the gathering.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Father Namaskar, respected Dr. Nandkishore Dutt, Founder and Chief Advisor MAIT, Professor Neelam Sharma, Director MAIT, keynote speakers, Mr. Madhu Mahan, Head of Investment Banking Technology, Deutsche Bank, Mr. Siddharth Singh, Senior Technical Program Manager, Amazon Seattle, USA, Professor S.S. Deswal, Dean Academics MAIT, Professor M.L. Sharma, HOD IT Department, other HODs, faculty colleagues, and welcome to the international webinar on digital infrastructure.
गोयल सर, उसके बाद फिर जब नेक्स्ट होगा उसको ऊपर कर देना स्पॉटलाइट, ठीक है? हाँ उसी में, ठीक है, ओके.
I congratulate and thank Professor M.L. Sharma and IT Department for arranging this webinar under the guidance of Professor Neelam Sharma on a very appropriate topic in the present scenario. The traditional role of IT infrastructure is rapidly reshaped by the global digital transformation of business. The ultra-competitive global economy that presents unlimited opportunities for disruption demands constant innovation. The demands placed on information technology are changing far more rapidly than many expected. The success of the business is now determined by a combination of user experience, more appealing business models, and rapid time to value proposition. In this dynamic business environment, expectations based on IT leaders present an opportunity that demands fundamental change in the role of IT. There is an unparalleled remodeling of IT estates to better support the fast introduction of innovative new services and to drive disruptive business models. Digital infrastructure is defined by a focus on enabling business credibility, empowering user experiences that drive customer engagement and loyalty. Digital infrastructure is also critical for delivery of services to remote areas in urban regional settings. New technologies are being used to improve the efficiency, sustainability, and services with infrastructure networks for a wide variety of services. Digital infrastructure comprises the physical resources that are necessary to enable the use of data, computerized devices, methods, systems, and processes. Digital infrastructure has become indispensable to the functioning of society and quality of life for its citizens. Infrastructure must now focus on the rapid creation, build and deployment of new products and services. AGDP task is driving investment in infrastructure technology and processes that support the quick delivery of new capabilities. Corporate agility relates directly to the ability of rapidly responding to the changing needs of business. Aspirations here need to be retrieved. The realization that in the hyper-competitive world in which we all now operate, time is the most critical factor. Infrastructure must now focus on the rapid creation, build and deployment of new products and services. Presently, digital infrastructure is the answer. Just as an example, let me quote that if a person travels from one place to another place, one city to another city, and wants to use these Google services, he gets the information that which is the shortest route from place A to place B. He can find out which is the best congested road, and while he's moving, if he wants, he can get the information of the nearby petrol pump hospitality venues, grocery shops, banks, utility centers, and so many other things actually while traveling from one place to another place. Now, he gets all these information instantaneously online mode. And now you can see that the person is traveling at a location, there is so many other persons simultaneously going with him ahead or behind, and not many persons in the same streets are traveling, and we all get same type of information. And not only that, but in this city, all streets of the city and all cities in the world get that information instantaneously. How to have that type of data and to use that type of response time because of really robust digital infrastructure. Let me talk another example of railway passenger reservation system. Where sitting on a terminal, you want to book a ticket from one city to another city. There are so many stations in the country where trains stop, and not the number of trains depart every day and go from one place to another place to various stations. You can go from one place to another place even in midway, and likely there are several persons who can simultaneously ask for a ticket. And the difficult thing is that fare is calculated automatically, and fare is based on different type of trains. We have different type of trains. We have that class one, we have passenger trains. And fares are different for city as well as shooting paths. Not only that, in these different type of trains, coaches are capacity. Passenger can ask for lower berth, window seat, and system gives that. To do that calculation and give you ticket instantaneously and giving a solid digital infrastructure. It is very frustrating to get longer period for the response. So there are several examples when you go for the share market, you go for a stock exchange, so many transactions are being handled simultaneously. Listen, Singh is coming from Amazon. When we order to Amazon, sit on Amazon.in and order 10 different items which are not related, which will come from different warehouses, and the system will calculate what is the total cost which we have to pay. And spend a few minutes, it provides all that information to us and does the transaction. So these days, these online classes which are going on, just because of this digital infrastructure, this infrastructure would not have been there, we would not have been able to conduct these classes in this corona time. So we have these eminent speakers, let us listen to them, and thank you very much for organizing this seminar and other seminars, also other departments which are organizing large activities which are being done in the institute. So I congratulate Professor Milan Sharma, Professor Deswal, all HODs for all their activities, and the new students have started reporting, and from tomorrow they will start classes also. So all the best, actually, let us try our best to give them the best education, whatever is possible in this, so that we don't lose any time. Uncertainties continue, and let's see, let's hope that we get rid of this corona very fast. All the best, thank you very much, and namaskar.
Thank you, sir. As always, your words of wisdom have enlightened us and enlightened our minds and shown us a new path, new direction. Now I would like to hand over to Dr. K.C. Tripathi for introducing our first speaker, Mr. Mridul Mahan.
Thank you very much, Shreya ma'am. Warm wishes to the Honorable Founder Chairman, sir, but unfortunately he is not here. He has conveyed wishes. Thanks, Vice Chairman, sir, Dean, sir, Director, ma'am, all HODs, colleagues, and students. Really, thank you, Shreya, ma'am. Special thanks for giving me this opportunity to introduce to this audience my best friend, Mridul Mahan. The time has turned a full circle, when I am here as a convener and my friend Mridul as a guest speaker. I am really more than honored and delighted to welcome him on behalf of MAIT family. From cricket grounds to conference sessions, the journey has been awesome. When deciding this topic of the conference, then we condensed down to this topic, digital infrastructure and corporate. And while we were deciding the speakers, we again condensed down to these two eminent personalities, not only because they happen to be my friends, but because they are very extremely experienced in their own fields. So therefore, finally, we came down to this topic of the session, and then we condensed down to these two speakers. So Mridul Mahan, of course, apart from being my friend, he has professional credentials as well, right? So Mridul is a veteran with over 20 years of experience in the financial services industry. He is currently head of investment banking technology, Deutsche Bank. He works towards building the engineering culture DNA and develop next generation future-proof stacks. Now, this is strategic to the core of digital corporate and investment banking going forward. Mridul joined the Deutsche Bank in 2016 as head of technology for Deutsche Bank in India, and then moved on to become the head of API and open banking for corporate. But before he joined the Deutsche Bank, Mridul was head GMSS at Bank of America Merrill Lynch, India, where he led the technology infrastructure team, supporting the bank across the Asia Pacific region, as well as leading the technology infrastructure footprint across Bank Pan India. Mridul works a lot with policy making bodies in India. He is an advisor to UP government tech bodies working with EXIM related corporate banking possibilities. He is in association with German Chamber of Commerce. He is also associated with policy making of Niti Aayog. He is associated with sandboxes across the world with big tech companies, sandboxes of RBI and IDRBT. And actually, I can go on talking about him, but the time does not permit me to do so. So I invite Mridul Mahan to please share his valuable knowledge with us and especially with our students. So students, do listen to Mridul very carefully. I have been listening to him since 35 years. So it's time that you listen to him. Over to you, Mridul.
Thanks, Krishna. Thank you. Am I audible? You guys can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'm Mridul. I work for Deutsche Bank. I work for Deutsche Bank as the CIO or the Chief IT Officer for investment banking technology. बैंक 3 हिस्सों में चलता है और investment banking, corporate banking, जैसे commercial and corporate banking कहते हैं, and then retail banking. Retail banking is the most visible part of the bank. So I manage the Brahmanical layer, the top layer, which is investment banking layer. So जब मुकेश अंबानी जी को पैसे चाहिए होते हैं और फेसबुक से पैसे आते हैं, those kind of conversations are nurtured in my department, and I build technology for those kind of stacks. Before we move there, first of all, I'm very thankful today to MAIT. I didn't know that you guys call your college that, right? MAIT. Thank you to Maharaja Agrasen Institute of Technology for inviting me. We from the industry are always excited about the outreach from educational institutions. बहुत काम हो रहा है and at many places, right? So as Krishna was speaking, we are talking to RBI. How do we build this culture? And we'll talk a lot about it. But I'm very thankful. Thank you to Mr. Chairman, Dr. Garg. Unfortunately, I have not been able to meet him, but I look forward to meeting him as soon as I can. Dr. Sharma, thank you for calling me that day. It was so nice of you to talk and we connected. Professor Goyal, thank you. I think इतने सारे teachers तो मैंने देखे नहीं बड़े सालों से. So I'm impressed by the amount of seniority that I see here. So thank you to all of you. Thank you for making time. Thank you for inviting me. And of course, this is the first time I think Krishna and I are thanking each other in professional forums. So that's kind of hilarious. But yes, thanks to Krishna for allowing me to talk to all of you. So I believe that today, and we were discussing a lot of things when Krishna and I started talking about what can we discuss in this 1 hour. So we were talking about a lot of things. We were talking about, let's talk technologies, blockchain, what's happening in MI, neural networks. We can discuss all of that. Then we thought, how about making this interesting for the students, making it interesting for MAIT as an institute, and what can we do together? I think that's what I will spend about 25-30 minutes. Hindi, Angrezi mila ke chalenge. There will be a day when science will be taught in Hindi. And we are actually working on something very interesting. We are working on something where some German scientists are working on Sanskrit as a language of coding. So we'll talk about all of that. But after that half an hour, I would hand it over. Would like to listen to what you guys want to talk about. Ask me any two intelligent questions, and maybe we can take it deeper. So I think that's how we will divide this 1 hour. I believe I have 1 hour, right? So that's the time I have. So that's how we will go about it. Today we are going to discuss what is the art and science of possible. What is possible? So first of all, reinvention is possible today. Exploration is possible. What is this future that you guys are going to step into? When people of my generation were going out of India was exciting. Why is it changing now? What is in this land of India that has kept me glued on to this country, right? What is this whole digital story, right? Is digital just being able to collaborate like this, as Professor Goel was speaking about, or is digital changing the very nature? बच्चे फोन पे स्कूल जा रहे हैं, right? हम हर चीज फोन पे कर रहे हैं. There was a time when I used to stand with my father's passbook in a bank branch. Or आज, I can connect with you without a bank account. I can transfer money to you. I can buy a cup of tea even from a roadside vendor, right? सब्जियां खरीद रहे हैं हम QR code से. So ये हो क्या रहा है? And इसमें हम कहाँ जाएंगे? I think that is what I want to talk about today. One of the things, and yes, thank you for again this outreach where I would like to discuss how we can collaborate. What's in it for you? What can Deutsche Bank do? And what can Deutsche Bank and MAIT can do together, right? First of all, what Dr. Sharma said, yes, ma'am, I'm happy to look at students. But एक ही शर्त है, the students need to have a career with us. यहाँ job नहीं मिल रहा, 15 lakh, 20 lakh ये तो हो जाएगा. When I started at 5,000 rupees, right? We will work out top dollars for you guys. But as Dr. Sharma said, right? I want to see talent. I want to see engineers who want to code, right? I want people who would not like team management, but would like to play with machines and build new machines. If you guys are open to that, yes, I promise that from Deutsche Bank, we will work with your faculty this year. We will see how we can offer you careers. But these careers are not roles or monies. These careers are not a ticket or a visa to go to Germany. This is something where I'm talking about, can you develop the new machines for me? Can you build something that has not been tried? And if you are ready for that, I'm ready to extend my hand to you. So I will make it sure that my hiring team visits MAIT this year. Let's find the top talent, and I will be happy to build that top talent arbitrage. I have about 20,000 engineers in Deutsche Bank across around 17 countries. We are in Pune and Bangalore in India. We have large technology centers. Happy to hire, happy to build careers. The only request is, today's generation is in this mode of instant gratification, right? I think we will build machines for instant, but it will take some time, right? So you guys need to come in. You guys need to think with us, and we would be more than happy. Again, I believe it was Professor Neelam, right, who I was introduced to just now on hackathons. My take on hackathon is academic problems नहीं solve करने हैं. आप मेरे problem solve करो तो बात बनेगी. Yesterday I was talking to IIT Bombay. They have a festival called Eureka, a bit like you guys run the festival, right? We have given them institutional banking problems. What happens is sometimes technology comes and we as technologists build a solution, फिर उसको force fit करते हैं problem के ऊपर. कहते हैं अब हमने cloud बना लिया तो अब आप cloud पे आ जाओ. That does not work, right? How about thinking and talking to us? And we as a bank will tell you what is keeping us awake. And do you really have the guts to engineer that? So those kind of hackathons we run across a lot of colleges in India. We work with IITs, with the IIMs, with some of the colleges. I'm happy to extend the same challenge to you guys. Show me what you can do, and I will be more than happy to to understand how to build the best careers out of MAIT. But what MAIT needs to do is walk your mile where you understand the problem of a business. A large bank like Deutsche Bank, we run trillions of dollars every day through our pipes. What does it mean to have a margin of error here? How do we design software? And if you can work with me on that, I'll be more than happy to go ahead and get excited about how we can do more and more things with MAIT, right? It's very interesting, right? Sometimes when technologists come to me, they come to me with something which is like, oh, this is a chemical that will help you go and get out of your typhoid fever, right? That's not how medicines are made. Don't show me software that does not have a functional move. So what I look at is stacks, and can you build those stacks for me? We will do those hackathons with you. We do business models competition across the world in 57 countries. More than happy to have your college participate with us. We would also like to invite you to come closer to the bank, not only in the investment banking or IT arena, come closer to the bank. We have a branch in Noida. We have a branch in Delhi on the Sansad Marg where we work a lot with the Indian government. Come have a look at us. And I would like to request the faculties also to come. XLRI faculty visited us, IIMs visit us. Come and see what industry does. And maybe that would allow us to have a better relationship with our students coming out of the pipeline, right? Concepts and everything you guys learn at college. How about you see how it works when the rubber hits the ground? As Krishna already talked about, there is a lot of policy making bodies we work with. Happy to invite you guys to work with RBI in their sandboxes. We can do a lot of things, right? And I think that is more important than talking about what is DB as a bank and tech of future. Those things you can Google out. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. We can talk a lot about what's there. Also, I don't know what's the right job for you, right? When I started, I kind of took the bets, and today here where I am, there can be debate on how I did, how I didn't do, but people find their own paths. What we from the industry, I'm sure your faculties, what we can do is we can show you some paths. Now, how do you want to take that path forward is completely on you, right? Today we are living in this world which the American army, when it landed in Iraq, used to call it the VUCA world, right? VUCA. V stands for volatile, U stands for uncertain, C starts for complex and chaotic, and A for ambiguous. कुछ भी नहीं समझ आ रहा है. What is the new thing? बहुत सारी धूल उड़ रही है. Who knows how it will go ahead and get settled? And I think that conversation you need to have with all of us, right? And we from the industry, the faculty, your parents or people who you are thinking that are your well-wishers, we all can come together and we can build a context of what can be a career for you. If you look at Deutsche Bank, we were established as a trading bank in Germany about 150 years back. And bank as a concept, right? People talk about bank. What is a bank? We are ultimately a regulated body that does the business of trust. We keep your money for you, one of the most important aspects that needs to be kept and safeguarded for you. And when we fumbled in 2008, where we played havoc with your money on the Wall Street in New York, the whole financial market crashed. So I think the banks learned a lot, and we started building the right technology. Today, I believe that concept of trust will be very, very important, especially for the India and China story, right? How will we become the trade hub of South Asia? That is what Deutsche Bank is working on. We are working on building API and open banking stacks, which is what I was doing. I run the rails for Reliance Mutual Fund. I run the rails for a lot of pension funds, Haryana government pension fund. We are now working on how to build trade corridors in your state, in UP. So, sorry, you guys are in Delhi, but yeah, from UP, and how to go ahead and connect India into a coherent trade practice. Trade till today needs trade. आज भी वैसे ही होता है 400 साल पहले जैसे होता था. कागज के खूब सारे बड़े बड़े बंडल्स बनते हैं, उसपे सब लोग सिग्नेचर्स करते हैं, and those 80-90 documents are needed across the world to move around. How can I build technology to change that? I remember uh, when we were looking at how to do digital trail of documents, somebody from RBI had shared this story that you guys from the large banks never came out with something new like a QR code. Paytm came out with it. So Vijay Shekhar built it. He built it outside of the bank. And we in the banks were so conservative that we could never think that this is something that can be built. So I believe that's the culture that we are looking at. We are looking at a cusp where a fundamental change is happening. Again, Professor Saab was talking about it, where buying of railway tickets to anything that we do. So the whole concept of payment against delivery has become instant. हम यूं पैसा देते हैं और हमें तुरंत सामान चाहिए होता है. How fast can the supply chains work? How fast will the underpinning work? And I think China and India are leading that digital play. The amount of instant movement that you see in the currency markets today, 7 दिन में check clear हुआ करता था, आज 24 घंटे IMPS है. I can transfer money anywhere, right? So this gain is unique to India. This is not something that has happened across the world. Aadhaar is unique to India. Jandhan accounts and the amount of accounts that we have opened in India is unique to India. And I lead a German bank. We do business in 70 countries. Believe you me, the digital transformation of India is a story that we talk about. Whenever I stand in Germany, I explain them this whole concept, right? That if you put the map of UP on top of Europe, Europe UP se bhi chota hai. But they have money which is 5 times, 8 times, 10 times of the Asian economy. How do we go ahead and move there? What is the story? And I think that is something where digital push is happening and happening a lot in India. Yesterday in IT, I was talking to around 272 startups. सब 10 से 15 लाख के ऊपर रेवेन्यू करते हैं हर साल. उन्होंने अपनी कंपनियां बनाई हैं, छोटी छोटी कंपनियां. अहमदाबाद में there was this company called Bilo, completely run by women developers. What they do is उन्होंने किराना स्टोर का लॉयल्टी प्रोग्राम बनाया है. Like you go ahead and have credit cards और उस पे लॉयल्टी पॉइंट्स मिलते हैं. They go ahead and do it with the kirana stores in Ahmedabad. So we are now funding them. We are funding them with $2 million, which is about 15 crore rupees, just to build that company. So again, something that your generation has that we didn't have was, there is a lot of money on innovation, not on jugaad, not on just cutting corners and trying to do a workaround, but on real innovation. And I see that a lot. So again, I would like to invite you guys to think there are jobs, but then you guys have an opportunity to actually reinvent yourself. We will be more than happy to support you, even if you guys start companies of your own. There are a lot of companies that we have supported. Have a look at Katina Technology, Catiena, and I'm happy to share these details in Telegram with you guys. Katina was a blockchain company run by 3 IIT kids. We sponsored it. Today they do a revenue of 10 crores together. We have Bilo that we have sponsored. We bought companies like Contiguous for around 2.7 million, which is around 17 crores. And we had those developers work for us. So if you are doing the right work, we are in a hurry to support you. Deutsche Bank will be more than happy to support you as a bank, as an investment, or as a partner. Sorry, guys. So I think how I look at it is, we can look at as a partner. There are companies that come in, build products for us. We are more than happy to support and create wealth for that. As a bank, we are happy to open banking accounts, support you with the banking side of it, build your invoices and everything. If as a students you want to do that, you can even do it in our business model competition. Come in, build business models, and we will make it worth it for you to go ahead and do real technology play. And also, one of the things that I talk about is, how about you start thinking beyond consumer banking? Think institutional banking. I have budgets of around 1.6 billion euros that I spend on building investment banking stacks. What does this mean? It means connecting trade finance. Like I said, when largest transactions of this world happen, they happen through banks like us. Also, if you want to connect to National Stock Exchange or Bombay Stock Exchange in India, those softwares are built by my teams. We run mutual funds and the money behind the mutual fund. We run infrastructure products with companies like L&T, companies like Gammon India, and the money behind it, the whole supply chain is built by us. So if you guys start thinking and reading more about institutional banking, maybe you will be able to connect the dots between technology and institutional banking. I think the kind of culture that we want to build, where I believe we will be allowed to fail and fail fast. Silicon Valley is built on this. I'm sure when Siddharth comes in, he will talk about it if he is in Seattle. सिलिकॉन वैली में सैन फ्रांसिस्को में आपको कोई हायर ही नहीं करता है जब तक आपने एक स्टार्टअप बना के डुबो ना दिया हो, राइट? सो एट द एंड ऑफ द डे वी नीड टू क्रिएट दैट कल्चर जहां पे इट्स ओके टू लूज, इट्स ओके टू फेल, बट वी विल हैव एन इंजीनियरिंग कल्चर. यू नो, आई रिमेंबर मार्क मोबियस एंड नारायण मूर्ति आए थे, हम लोगों के साथ बात कर रहे थे इन बॉम्बे इन अ चेंबर ऑफ कॉमर्स कॉन्वर्सेशन, एंड वो ये कह रहे थे कि अब प्रोडक्ट्स बनाने चाहिए. And you know, somewhere I was surprised that a person who has run Infosys and who has built the largest servicing company, TCS, Infosys, these are the servicing hubs of the world, right? Now they are also talking products. So I think we need to build that engineering culture, build a culture of products and solutions. If you have products and solutions, we will be more than happy to look at you. The other bit is, I think there is something called a culture of intelligent disobedience. Intelligent disobedience is a very, very interesting concept that I would like to touch upon for 1 minute. So there is this guy, right? He is standing in front of an elevator, और उसके साथ उसका service dog है, वो अंधा है, so the dog helps him walk. And he's standing with his dog, and the elevator door opens. And when the elevator door opens, the floor of the elevator and the floor that he is standing are mismatched. The dog sees that. The guy is blind, he can't see. When the dog sees that, he just goes ahead and stands in front of the man like this, right? Horizontally. So then the man says this, that I have a very, very obedient dog. But the day he chooses to disobey me, I listen to him. मैं उसकी बात सुनता हूँ because I understand that he is disobeying me with a purpose. हमको इंडिया में ये culture चाहिए. This is what I talk to my teams a lot. This is what I invite you guys to have. Have a habit of questioning the status quo. This culture of intelligent disobedience is very important because electric bulb नहीं बनता था अगर हम मोमबत्ती के ऊपर काम करते रहते. Somebody thought कि कैंडल के बाहर जाना है, कुछ और करना है, and that's how a light bulb came up, right? Iterative change comes easy to Indians. We as a country don't believe in disruptive changes. I think your generation has the mantle to do it. Think things which we have not been able to think, and I will support you. And I can promise that in Deutsche Bank, we are building a culture where we will do intelligent disobedience. I'm happy to come in and talk with you guys on that. The other bit that I talk a lot about is India is a culture of feminine leadership. When I mean feminine, I don't mean that Indira Gandhi thi, or it's not about ladies who led us. Our culture is more about a cohesive leadership model, which is less masculine than United States or Germany. That allows me to actually build better software. Now, I'm saying this with a lot of exposure to Israeli development, Russian development, American development, European development. My engineers in India, they build better software that manages a lot more chaos than other countries because वहाँ chaos है नहीं. This is a challenge that recently they faced in the pandemics, right? बहुत अच्छे health systems थे पर बैठ गए, ज़्यादा लोग मर गए. They don't know how to manage it. The challenge is this, that in India, chaos and working with the N+2 mindset comes to us. This is what we call the feminine side of the Indian culture. And I think you guys have a choice to build technology with a feminine mindset. Right from the time when human beings were hunters, the man was supposed to hunt and the woman was the nurturer, right? So I would like to say that there is this whole idea of masculine and feminine leadership, where again in Deutsche Bank we are talking about this a lot. Can we go ahead and as a CIO, can I have teams that are diverse, teams that have different kind of people coming from different walks of life, different genders, because I don't want a certain kind of a monochromatic software to be developed. We want to develop software that will look from all sides and build all kind of things, and that's something that we are working on. uh, of course, I talked about culture of products. I don't want that every product that you think of, अगर आप हार्डवेयर सोचो, एप्पल फोन जिससे मैं आपसे बात कर रहा हूँ, सच अ ब्यूटीफुल फंक्शनल डिवाइस, बट ये बाहर बनता है. हमारे यहाँ तो हमने जो फोन भी बनाया वो किसी और का देख के बनाया. हमारा पहला यूनिकॉर्न जो बना उबर को देख के ओला बना. सो आई थिंक कहीं ना कहीं अब ये जरूरत है that we will start thinking our own things, and you guys as engineers need to come in, and I'm more than happy to support if you can design functional software that will take the world to a different thing, right? I think the Indian digital infrastructure is the best in the world, and I cannot talk more about it than I have already done. But if you look at Jan-Dhan accounts, if you look at Aadhaar, if you look the amount of things you can do through your mobile phone, this is something that I do a lot when people from my team come from outside of India. I always ask them कि अपना wallet आप रख दो, अपना phone रख दो, और फिर नीचे जाओ and show me how you can buy a coffee. You can do that in India. We have ideas, QR codes, fingerprints, everything is playing around, right? This is not something that is very regular. न्यूयॉर्क में अगर आज भी आप मेट्रो ट्रेन लेते हैं ना, तो आपको जाना पड़ता है, क्रेडिट कार्ड से एक टिकट लेना पड़ता है, वो टिकट लेके जाके वहां पे दिखाना पड़ता है, and then you go in. Whereas in India now we are building metros where you can just tap and go. So I think this digital divide will become more pronounced, right? We, the large organizations, are more than happy to support you. We are at the top of the clock at 6 o'clock. So Krishna, I think we can start with some questions and then maybe let's see how this whole thing goes. But back to you, Krishna.
Yes, Mridul. Yes, we are at about 6, but still you can manage some time. There's no problem. And obviously, whatever you said, this is really, really inspiring from a point of view of student and from point of view of Indian as a whole. So I think, as you said, you are motivator for Make in India campaign. So this is the thing that we also appreciate. Now I would like to ask you a few things. As you said at the closing of your argument, or rather your talk, that Indian digital infrastructure is better than many Western digital infrastructures, and you spoke something about it, right? So can you elaborate a little more on this aspect? Why you think so that our digital infrastructure is better in many countries?
So I think this is a submission, and it's interesting that you ask it. Mostly I defend this stance outside of India when I'm talking to others. But let me put it this way, okay? बड़ा ओपन है, मतलब बड़े स्पेसिफिक आंसर्स हैं इसके. तो आधार कहीं और है नहीं. 17 गवर्नमेंट्स इस समय, 17 governments are talking with IRDI. We are talking about how can we build Aadhaar kind of infrastructure. Malaysia में, Indonesia में. We are talking about building the whole Aadhaar, or basically what is Aadhaar? Aadhaar is a citizen database that we have built completely through our indigenous mindset. Means we should be really respectful of what Mr. Nilekani has achieved, right? Nandan has really achieved something जो कहीं और है ही नहीं. There is no other example. England का health database NHS का भी बैठ चुका है. We have heard of issues in the German database recently. India में आधार जब से बना है ना, कोई breach हुआ नहीं है. They talk about breach, एक बार Reliance के थ्रू हो गया था, but जो हमारा अपने government databases हैं, they are rock solid. They have not broken down. ठीक है, हम election करवाते हैं. आज भी अभी देखे US में almost for a month the circus went on, right? In India, we have an election, and within 2 or 3 hours, you start getting trends and results, right? The day you start counting, you start opening it up. On the bank side, we have something called a India Stack. You guys can Google it. It is built by Sharad, who actually supported Mr. Nandan Nilekani in building Aadhaar. India Stack actually allows you to connect digital India, all the processes that can be done in financial world as a government thing. And these are things that you can experience as a person. The last bit is as an institutional bank, exim licenses, settlement of money, all of these things are much, much deeper in India than most geographies that I see in. So I think other geographies have a catch up to do. And the last bit before I leave it is if you look at it, in Kenya, we have the best mobile phone network, largely because उनका कोई legacy retard नहीं था, बहुत strong पुराने systems नहीं थे, तो इसलिए नए system बड़ी जल्दी बन गए. The same thing has happened in India. The digital things have come up so fast because कोई legacy retard नहीं है. The movement from analog to digital is complete, and that we see at the business to business level and also at business to consumer level.
Yes, Mridul.
Yes, I just wanted to say something.
Yes, ma'am.
Krishna, can I talk?
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
So I just wanted to say something. You just mentioned Kenya and you mentioned about the mobile networks. So my
आपकी मेरी बात हुई थी. Right.
Yeah, my son is there. He's the head of the technical team of the Airtel, and Airtel is the biggest vendor over there.
Right.
One thing I would like to talk to you about is I just wanted to what we do is for the students to get themselves more involved in technology. The hackathon, they are giving some questions they are floating, and the students are working on those questions and they are finding solutions. So recently we organized with Dr. Mannamita, we organized a hack with MAIT, and we gave them some topics like say education or healthcare or something like that. So, working with your bank, can you float some questions on which the students can work on so that,
Bilkul.
they can work on.
Sure. No, Director ma'am, I think that was the whole idea. I will only do hackathons with Deutsche Bank जहाँ we will give the questions. हम यही करते हैं. And this is not only for the students of colleges. हम अपने engineers को भी when we do hackathons, we recently ran a hackathon in London and Germany. The same thing. We give problems that are important to me as a CIO, and then we ask people to take a shot at it.
Yeah.
So yes, completely in sync with you. We will do that.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, the point is for students, the level would be lower than that of your engineers, I think.
नहीं. Krishna, ulta hai. These students are better than most of my engineers. Engineers को तो हमने घेर के रेल पे चलाना सिखा दिया है, right? बच्चे हैं एकदम नया सोचते हैं, right?
नहीं,
I would like these guys to come in.
Yeah, actually, Abhi, the prizes we organized the fest, and then we gave them first, second, and third prizes. So the students who did very well, I would like to show their videos to you. They had some good ideas,
Sure.
So
we can look at that. Yeah, we definitely can look at that because Abhi, in Eureka in IIT Bombay yesterday, there was a concept that was sold to me. They are building a blockchain for refugee management. So this can be used for people who come illegally across the borders and all, and they are building a blockchain of that. और उन्होंने इस पे सोचा तो उससे आज से 10 साल बाद वीजा की प्रॉब्लम ही खत्म हो जाएगी. You will have a blockchain of passports, and they are thinking through that. West Bengal government के साथ IIT Bombay is working that, and they are involving now IIT Kharagpur or something. The same thing, Dr. Sharma and all of you, more than happy. And Krishna, to your point, I didn't mean it flippantly. Yes, my engineers are very capable across 10 countries. But the thing is, most of the times what I've seen is when you start working for a certain industry, आप थोड़ा उस industry में involve हो जाते हैं. When people come from colleges, these guys are hungry, and the students, all of you guys have you are learning now. They want to take the industry by its horns. So I think, you look at Sachin Bansal, Binny, इन लोगों ने they came out of IITs, they built the Ubers and the Mintras of the world, Olas of the world, because they were very young. हमारी तुम्हारी उम्र में तो बना ही नहीं पाते, उसी समय बनाते हैं वो. So I
बिल्कुल
think
बिल्कुल
I'm more than happy to support them.
Yes, 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 yes. So I think that was a very nice response, Director Ma'am, and it was nice listening to the response of your question too, because we came to know about something about Kenya. There are many questions that I am getting on my number, but I think the time does not permit me to tell you every question. But I will definitely take one from my side and one from the people that who have asked me questions. So my question to you is that you talked about QR code. So what do you think the Bharat QR code has it conveyed the message around the globe or not?
So I think I'll handle this question three ways. One is, so when I talked about QR code, actually, this was Professor Viral Chaya, and वो मुझे ये कह रहे थे कि तुम लोग अपने बोर्ड को पहले फाइट करके यू बिल्ड इनोवेटिव प्रोडक्ट्स, कोई और बाहर से आके बना देता है एंड देन यू बैंक्स आर अपसेट कि अरे पेमेंट तो कहीं और जा रहा है. So I think that was the thing. I personally believe that Bharat QR code and RuPay, RUPAY जो गवर्नमेंट ने किया है, they both are a bit of a half-baked ideas. Their time will come. The concept is important and the concept is very good. We can see it through so many QR options, right? Now, if you see how a technology can work on different kind of options, what I have done is Asian Paints के लिए इंडिया में एक बहुत बड़ी इश्यू था कि उनका जो पेंटर है वो वही पेंट क्यों खरीदे, एशियन पेंट क्यों खरीदे, नेरोलैक क्यों नहीं खरीदे. So they are our corporate clients. They came to us for discussion. And वो क्या करते हैं, they go ahead and pay the dealers जो ये पेंट की दुकानें चलाते हैं, उनको डीलर्स को वो पैसे देते हैं to give incentive, 10 रुपए डब्बे पे दे देंगे, something like that. What we did, and this is how technology becomes functional, what we did is पेंट के डब्बे के नीचे after the paint finishes हमने एक QR code emboss कर दिया और हमने बोला कि वो मोबाइल के ऊपर ना पेंटर खुद से मारेगा और उसको 10 रुपए तुरंत मिल जाएंगे. He doesn't need to go to the dealer, खाली डब्बा दिखाए और 10 रुपए ले. उसमें पिल्फरेज होता था, कई बार पेंटर कहता था मुझको तो पैसे ही नहीं देते, गिफ्ट देते थे दिवाली की तो मिलती नहीं थी. So this is the same thing we did through QR code. So to your question, Krishna, in public distribution systems, QR code can do a lot of work. Now in India, we are discussing universal income. We are discussing how we will go ahead and do that. The banks are now talking about these QR codes that will help people pick up stuff that they are entitled for. Bharat Pay and RuPay, I think, are still evolving. The best QR codes that I see are more from places like Paytm and all. They have a better reach because उनके point of sale ज़्यादा है, POS बहुत ज़्यादा है, 8 लाख से ज़्यादा POS है. So that helps.
Right. So thanks for that. And I think one question, actually we are compiling questions from what we are getting on WhatsApp groups. So one question that I would actually, सारी questions लेने लायक हैं, लेकिन अब चूंकि मुझे decide करना है, so I will just decide on one more question to you, Mridul, because I'm seeing Siddharth Singh is already there. So hello Siddharth, we will be coming to you soon. So the question to you, last question is, are the established banks facing competitions with fintech companies so far as digital infrastructure is concerned?
I think let's put it this way. We did a very large relationship, a partnership worth 10 billion with Google Cloud Platform, GCP. It is all over the news. If you Google GCP, which is Google Cloud Platform, and Deutsche Bank, you will see that there is a partnership. Sundar Pichai ने बोला उसके बारे में, हमारे CEO ने बोला. So I think collaboration will be the way forward. 3 तरह की fintechs देखता हूँ मैं. There are fintechs that are disruptors. Paytm जैसी. Paytm बोलता है कि तुम्हें बैंक जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, हम ही बन जाएंगे तुम्हारा बैंक. You can make the payments through us, right? But every night they have to settle on a bank. So Paytm actually banks with Axis Bank. So they may have disrupted, but they have disrupted only part of a problem. Settlement आज भी by law has to be done by an RBI scheduled bank, right? And this is true for all the other countries. So I think banks should look at fintechs more as a partner who are trying to solve problems, and that's why I talk so much around fintechs wanting to do things. यहाँ पे there is a very good example, right? if you look at most of the cars, electric cars that are coming, they look like the old world car. उनकी आत्मा पुरानी कार वाली है, तेल वाली कार वाली, और उसमें उन्होंने AAA बैटरीज लगा दी हैं पीछे बहुत सारी. So मतलब ये तो बहुत पहले गांव में उन्होंने सोच लिया था कि एक बैटरी लगा लो तो मोटरसाइकिल चल जाती है, right? The thing is, इसके लिए BMW की इंजीनियरिंग की क्या जरूरत है? But if you look at Tesla, Tesla is a car that is built on a computer. उसमें actually upgrades आते हैं Saturday Sunday को. It is just like our mobile phone. It is a computer that happens to drive, right? So I think that is the difference between fintechs and banks. Banks thoda abhi bhi old world hai. Fintechs are thinking new. They are thinking things differently. So I think banks should look at fintechs as partnerships, collaborations. License to hamare paas hi hai, and we also have the muscle power to support them. But there are disrupting fintechs. There are fintechs that are making our lives easy, जिनको मैं enabling fintechs बोलता हूँ, and then there are regulatory fintechs that allow us to manage regulatory side. I think it's a position of collaboration for me as a CIO of a bank. It is not a position of competition.
All right, thank you, Siddharth. And by the way, Siddharth Singh has conveyed a message to you on the chat that he's enjoying your talk and would like to continue to do so. But then we have to listen to him as well. So I think, Director Ma'am, shall we continue with the next speaker in order to keep in sync with the time?
Definitely, definitely. So welcome, welcome Siddharth.
So I think, thank you very much, Mridul. And we would like to... Thanks, Mridul. It was a very, very nice and motivating session. And obviously, as you said, we would be having good collaborations and you would be guiding our students apart from placing them and apart from taking all the initiatives that you can. We sure promise you that whatever you expect from us, we will be delivering. That is, of course, there's absolutely no doubt in it, right?
No, thank you. You walk your side of the mile. We will walk on our side of the mile. And thank you. And enjoy with Siddharth. I'm sorry, but if it's okay, I'll step out now. Right?
Thank you.
Thank you very
much.
much. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.
So, ma'am, I think I can invite Siddharth now.
Definitely, definitely. Waiting for Siddharth to join.
Hi, Siddharth.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Siddharth, we can hear you.
Yes, yes, you are absolutely audible.
And I welcome you. And again, as with Mridul Mahan, we have yet another very motivating speaker apart from being my best friend. Actually, I, Mridul and Siddharth, we are all trios and we have studied together. So that way we need no introduction to ourselves. But anyway, I now invite Siddharth Singh to deliver the talk. And before he starts, I will just share his professional credentials with you all. So Siddharth has over 17 years of experience delivering a large-scale, globally available products, which is spread across smart speakers technology, e-commerce, compliance, anti-money laundering and security risks, video technologies, healthcare, and space industry. As Director Ma'am pointed out, he started his career as a scientist at prestigious ISRO. He worked on orbital mechanics and control systems for remote sensing satellites. He has held various key positions at companies like GE, where he worked on next-gen X-ray machines, and Cisco, where he was responsible delivering advanced video on-demand solutions to major broadcasters in Europe. He is currently working at Amazon headquarters in Seattle, USA as a senior technical program manager, where he owns multiple tier 1 services which manages the entire Alexa platform. Leading a world-class engineering team, he delivers solutions for more engaging and natural conversations over Alexa. One thing besides his technical and professional credentials, I would also like to tell the audience that Siddharth is a very great singer, and Siddharth actually he is working on something that is called the science of music. He is actually working on how our classical Sangeet is in sync with today's science rules, right? So we would sometimes love to hear this aspect of Siddharth Singh, but today we would be glad if he delivers something to us about how he works at Amazon and whatever he plans to tell our students. So students, listen to Siddharth carefully. As with Mridul, I have been listening to him since about 35 years. So it's now over to students to listen to Siddharth. Come, Siddharth. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for such a nice introduction. Nice word. Early morning है यहाँ पे थोड़ी आवाज भारी हो तो आप लोग माफ कीजिएगा. But yeah, let's start the talk. As Krishna introduced, I have been working throughout my career in the technology domain, starting from ISRO, then GE, Cisco, and finally I am at Amazon. All throughout my career, I have been handling products which are larger than your life products. The products which have been made available to the entire globe at once. So as you would have understand, in the previous talk, we were talking about that how the India is poised in a unique way to take forward the digital infrastructure and show the world what they can do. On the other side, I would also like to tell that how the global infrastructure of IT now is poised in a way where it doesn't matter where you sit. You are developing applications, you are developing softwares which is available everywhere. So this is how I have planned my talk, and I'll take you guys through that talk. I have tried to keep it very simple, but the way that we will do it is that we will actually walk through a simple use case. We will take a very, very simple use case, and we will try to see how companies like Amazon, Google, or Apple, or everyone comes up with a solution or an architectural solution to deploy these products globally. What we will also talk about is certain technologies that are available today. We will keep it very simple so that you guys can understand. And we will also talk about that how you can start thinking beyond just Java code or simple Python code or code which is written in isolation. So let's start with that journey. And before I start, I'll thank the entire faculty of MAIT to giving me this opportunity to talk. I love to talk to interact with students. And please, if I go too technical, because I've been delivering products which are very technical in nature, please don't hesitate to stop me or ask questions. I will be happy to answer everything that you guys have in mind. Okay, so let's start. I'll try to share my screen if that is possible. Can someone confirm that they're able to see the screen?
Yes, the screen is visible.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead. And what I'm going to talk about is it will be a storytelling mode. We will just talk about how a journey of a product in large IT corporate looks like. And this will give this presentation will give you that how companies like Amazon, Google, Apple, they think about a product. They think when they think about the product, they don't have to think about that. Oh, my product is available only in Delhi or only in Seattle. When I am designing a product, I have to think about it. How like multi-millions or even billions of people are going to use this product across the globe, and that's how we need to start thinking about in the next world of development. Okay. Ayush Agarwal is. Okay, so before we start the presentation, I'll try to just set some ground rules. So what can you expect from this presentation is that what goes into end-to-end product development from when we think of a product in such IT corporates and then how it is deployed. Okay, and then look beyond code. I mean, one of the emphasis on when I was actually studying engineering and my science, and I was doing studying, there was a lot of emphasis on how I can write good code, Java, C++ languages and all. the infrastructure today, or the paradigm today, has shifted a lot from code, because code is a lot of code is already ready for you guys. What you need to understand is, and you guys are very good at writing code, I'm not denying that, but what we need to understand is how we are going to use the technology of today, the infrastructure of today, to make my software solutions available at the entire globe. Okay, and how we will do that? We will do that by taking a very simple use case, and then we will study the entire software development life cycle, or the product life cycle, along with that. Okay. Now, what not to expect is also very important. So let me set that. This is not a comprehensive coding or design talk. So if you're scared that I'm going to start asking you questions about code or design, no, this is not like that. We will just try to understand what goes into large corporates and large structures, large IT companies, to have these products globally available, and how you guys can start thinking about the projects or the programs, or we were talking about a lot of hackathons, to start using these technologies like cloud services and everything, to have your product available globally. And that every cloud services, the good part is that every cloud services, or every such services what is available, they have a free tier, okay, available to the students of like you, who can use those free tiers to have the hackathons or the projects that you guys are doing, to make it available globally. Okay, and this is not a workshop. This is not a sales pitch for AWS. I'm not a salesman. I'm a pure technology person. So this is not a sales pitch, but it happens so that I've been working on AWS all throughout. So I'll be using a lot of Amazon Web Services example. So because I'm only familiar to that. So that's the only reason that I will be using AWS as an example. Okay. And lastly, I throw a lot of names here. Yagnavalkya, Gargi, Nachiketa, and Yama, Ashtavarka, and Vandin. What is common between these names that you see? Okay, so the thing that is common between these are ancient sages, the pairs of gurus and shishyas. They have delivered a lot of wisdom to us by virtue of talking, by virtue of discussion, by virtue of asking questions. So the point of bringing these things here is, it should not be a monologue that I'm talking a lot and you guys are listening. Please ask questions. I encourage you to ask intelligent questions, because that allows me also to improve that while I'm delivering my talk. So let not this become a monologue. Please ask questions. If I'm not able to answer now, I promise that I'll take those questions from Krishna and try to answer it on the later front also. Okay, so let's go ahead. A sample use case. Best way to explain any talk is to use story. Now, we were talking about a point of sale system. So just imagine there's a small business which has a point of sale where the sale is happening, and there are websites on which user can come in. Okay, so both systems are constantly producing some information. The point of sale system will be producing information which is telling you about how the sales for particular systems are happening, and while the websites are creating information, people are going to commenting upon that product, right? You guys do that. You guys purchase a product and give the comment of the product on multiple platform, not only at the site that you have bought, but you go ahead and comment on websites like Facebook, or let's say Twitter, or whatnot. Google, you go and do the review of that. So these are the two things that are happening. So I have a point of sale, and I have people who are commenting for that product. Okay. And my business, I want to understand how those point of sale systems is correlating with the comments that I'm getting, right? If let's say somebody is commenting about certain things, which is good or bad, whether the sales are matching the same thing or not. So I need to get the data from the sales. I need to get the data from the from the commenting systems, do some analysis quickly, and then throw away some results to the market, or throw away some results to the point of sale systems. It's a very simple thing. Amazon does it. Any Flipkart does it. Everybody does it. So I hope you will be able to relate to this use case. So let's decide the basic architecture for this. Okay. Now understand. by throwing away this problem, let's go back to the problem first. We have to understand in the global infrastructure, I can purchase the products today from Flipkart across the globe. I can go on Flipkart and log into the website and purchase the product and get it delivered somewhere else. I can give the comment sitting here in Seattle or wherever in the globe. I can give the comment of the product wherever I want. So this problem is not limited to let's say Gurgaon or Delhi or Uttar Pradesh mein Allahabad ya kahin aise. It's this problem is that this point of sale can be located anywhere across the globe, and the commenting system can also be, or the systems where you are giving your reviews can be situated anywhere across the globe. Okay, so this is the scale of the problem that I'm talking about. If I have to develop the system on a localized in your college, it's very easy to do that. But what infrastructure that I will deploy that this system becomes available across the globe is something which we are going to talk about. Okay, so that's the problem domain. Let's go ahead. Let's try to understand how all this happens. So on the left-hand side of the screen, there's a user. User will always invoke the commenting system or whatever you're interacting with a global domain. You interact and it goes to an API gateway. Okay, what is an API gateway? API gateway is a system which will make understand. For example, let's say if you're interacting with a site called Amazon on which you are giving the comment and you are directing it to a certain thing, the API gateway allows you to have that site available anywhere to the user in the globe and then make it available to the backend systems in a format that they want. So, right, it's sort of a DNS server that you have, but it is used to deploy the endpoints of your system so that your application is available globally. And then there is on the background, once the API gateway routes it to my server where I'm deploying my application, there is a function which will take over your application and process it to the cloud hosting environment. This is a very, very simple data input stream that is available, right? So just imagine that for a very simple thing, I'll talk to you through a use case where you are submitting a form on a website, right? You're entering your name, your address, and your phone number on a website and pressing submit button. When you do that, the entire when you press the submit button, your entire data that you have entered onto the form is routed to an API gateway, which forms the REST request and passes this back to this Lambda function. Okay. And that Lambda function, because it's a code that you have written in the backend, okay, and it takes all the information from the API gateway, which is coming in the form of a long URL that you see on the top of your address. It transforms that into a JSON or some other file and gives it back to the environment. Basically, Lambda function क्या कर रहा है? ये आपकी जो वेबसाइट की इंफॉर्मेशन है उसको आपके पीछे बैकएंड इंफॉर्मेशन को यूज करने के लिए ट्रांसलेट कर रहा है. Okay. So then it goes to cloud hosting environment, and cloud hosting environment, we will talk about what other cloud hosting environment can be. Similarly, if you see how does the communication flow out of the cloud hosting environment to the user. आपने उस information को process किया, you process that information and you got the results, you gave it back to Lambda function. It will उसको वापस से translate करेगा Lambda function in a way the websites can understand, pass it on to the API gateway, and API gateway will pass it on to the user. This is how most of your global applications are deployed on the world. Now, it doesn't matter where the user is sitting, and it doesn't matter where the cloud hosting environment is sitting. Okay, so let's move ahead. A very simple high-level design. So for what we are doing, just remember that we are trying to get two different kinds of data. One is the point of sale data, and one the user where the users are commenting. Okay. Now we are trying to get that data into a system where we can store that data, analyze that data very quickly, and then give the results back to the user or to the point of sale system, whether the comments are correlating with the sales or not. Okay. So you get the raw data which is coming, you ingest and collect the data, you store the data, you process and analyze that data, and then store back the data, because the data that is coming to you might be in a different format. You might be using videos, you might be using images, you might be using whatever. So you process, analyze that data and keep it back to the store, and then you consume the data to visualize, and then present the answers and insight. This is a very high level design that we are doing to just make sure the end-to-end flow for that solution works. Right now, the challenge is, let's understand a few things here. We are talking about a world in which the data is generated at a very high rate, very high rate. And when I say very high rate, for example, the service that I own, and Amazon, which is like Alexa service, it handles 2.7 billion utterances per week. So imagine the amount of data that goes into. On Christmas Day, we will be handling around 10,000 transactions per second. That's the rate of the data that we are generating today. For example, if I say the YouTube users are watching 4 million videos per minute. Okay, the Netflix users, they watch 70,000 hours worth of video every minute is being watched on the global scale. So the challenge is, how do I scale my application to such large amount of data? Just imagine the amount of data that we are talking about, right? So how do I scale my application to such a large amount of data? And few other examples I'll give. The International Data Corporation, IDC, they do a lot of prediction upon how the data is being going to use in the future domain. And I know you do a lot of work on artificial intelligence, machine learning, and whatnot. Data is the most important part that you guys deal with. So you need to understand that what amount or what quantity of data that you are dealing, right? So in 2019, the total data that was being used was around 33 zettabytes. By 2025, we are going to deal with 175 zettabytes of data, and zettabytes has 21 zeros after that. So you can understand what is the amount of data that we are talking about. And hence, using those digital IT infrastructure which is available today becomes a necessity, because our local applications cannot scale with such kind of volume and such kind of velocity of data, right? And this is where I'm trying to give an emphasis to the students who are available. When you're thinking of your application, think about, like we were talking about Aadhaar in the previous presentation. Like India has around a billion of people, more than a billion of people. If everybody has Aadhaar, and in the peak time, Diwali time, let's say half of the people of the country, half of a billion people are doing transaction based on Aadhaar, how will you handle that amount of data? How will your applications handle that amount of data? These are the kind of challenges that the future world is going to deal with, okay? And your application should be ready with. So we started from a very simple problem statement, where there's someone who's selling the stuff and someone who is commenting on the stuff, like we usually do. How we correlate that data on a prima facie, it looks like a simple problem, but when you try to scale that problem, it becomes a big problem. Okay. Now I have given few slides on a low-level design. Also, I'll quickly browse through that, not diving deep into the details, but I'm more than happy to dive deep with the students if they want to do it later. But I'll just quickly tell you that how we will overall do the overall design. So there are two kinds of data that we are dealing here, right? So just to give you a paradigm of how different kind of data which is available in the global arena today. So one is the stream data, which is coming as constantly people are commenting on website. So there is a constant data generation, which we call as a stream data. Now, this stream data is something which is not very huge, but you quickly need to analyze and find out what are the trends that are happening in the comments. Let's say there is an event that you are hosting. Let's say you're hosting this webinar. Okay. Now Krishna hosted this webinar and he open out a Twitter channel on which he wants to know that what is the trend of people who are commenting for these webinar. Okay, so we will establish the system where the data from the Twitter will be coming as a stream. We will collect the entire Twitter data in this stream by some of the AWS services which I mentioned here, like Kinesis, Data, Firehose. These can handle million bytes of data as a stream. So these are the services which are available. But I'm just trying to touch upon how this entire thing will happen. So let's say Krishna opens up that on 6 p.m. today, there will be a talk delivered by two speakers and this, and then the event starts and the commenting starts. Okay. So then the Twitter data will be flowed here. It will be collected in your system. Okay. And then it will be processed by the analytics. Then the processed data will be stored somewhere. And then the visualization and the trending will be given. This is how the trending on Twitter, trending on Facebook, all social media also happens. Just for this, if you have seen that how do people say hot topics on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or whichever social media you're using, they are constantly collecting that stream data. They are constantly storing it, processing it, and then analyzing and giving the visualization. Okay, this is how it is happening in the entire world. And this data, it can come from anywhere across the world. It is not limited where the data is coming from. Okay, and we'll talk about that. And then there is also a sales data. Now we were talking about let's say we take the example of Aadhaar, or let's take the example of the credit card transaction. So many of you would have done a credit card transaction which increases an amount of, let's say, 10,000 rupees, and you get an alert SMS. Okay, you get a call from someone that you are doing a transaction which is more than the specified amount. So do you really want to authorize that? How does that happen? So whenever you are doing a credit card transaction, the data is constantly being monitored in the stream way. And the moment it crosses a certain threshold that you have set across, okay, then it gets a flag and visualization, which is the alert, is presented to you. Okay, this is how the same credit card data, you also, when you log into your mobile app, you get you get the summary, right? Monthly you spend this, monthly you spend on this, and your monthly statement is this. You're spending 30% on household, 20% on automobile, 50% on traveling. This is all is done in the batch processing. So you take all the sales data for the month, do a batch collection, do batch processing, and then you store and then present the visualization. Okay. The same credit card transaction, how we are presenting it in two different ways, is happening here. Okay. Now, I found a very good quote from a book that I was reading that seems to be first, which whatever you are now, and then you may become what you want to become. Okay, so like what it's trying to say is that we have achieved at a certain level here in the previous slide. Okay, now we have to think beyond that, how we can optimize the design that we have achieved. Okay. So how we can optimize it? The simple thing is there are services now available which can do this job in one shot for you, so that you can have your, let's say, relating to credit card stream data and the monthly data all coming at the one place. Then you can have separate stream processing layer, batch processing layer, and serving and storing. And then you can have a data lake in which you can store everything and then give the visualizations to the user in the combined way. So this is how your credit card app will look like. This is how your credit card app, the backend of the credit card app, is interacting. It is giving the stream data also. It is also giving you the monthly wise data, and you're getting different visualization in your app. Okay. Now, we talked a lot about how to design this infrastructure and architecture. Now we will talk about in the global settings, when the companies like Mridul was talking about, he has development centers in 10 of the countries or 15, 20 countries, we have development centers. Amazon has this development center. In India itself, we have 4 development centers, and we have, like, all across the globe, we have development centers. How do I manage such kind of development where there are in thousands of engineers writing the code for same application across the geography and checking in and out at different time zones? Okay, so there are tools available for that also. When you guys will do an internship or when you enter into the global company, the challenge is not whether you know good writing good code or not. The challenge is how fast you can understand to work on a global development environment, right? So understand this. So this is basically a code pipeline. Now there's a source code, right? You guys are writing code across the globe. I am writing code. Let's say it's daytime in India. Somebody writes a code and checks it the code. Then I will come in online in Seattle the next day. I will have to look at your code and start working from there. So the IT infrastructure has to provide you a means and mechanism where you can write your code independent of multiple people sitting together, check it, then build that code, test that code, do the staging. We'll talk more about staging, and then deploy it into the production. And imagine this is happening round the clock. If a if a high severity issue comes in your service, let's say Flipkart की example लेते हैं, Flipkart sales कर रहा है, उसका कोई issue आया, so it will not wait for somebody to wake up in India to fix that issue, right? और Amazon का example लेते हैं, Amazon के दोनों जगह available है, Seattle में भी है और India में भी है. So अगर India time पे कोई issue आया, it has to be fixed in the India time itself. Nobody will wait for Seattle to wake up and then fix that issue, because that can cause the damage of billions of dollars. So people should have a global environment in which they can write their code, build their code, test, and do the staging and this production, and deploy it to the production. Okay. So we model our software releases as a workflow, as a pipeline, and each stage, these are all stages in the pipeline in which have dedicated functions, and then they can do certain things on that function. Specifically in the development environment, how it happens is that you have your desktop development environment, then beta development. This is what staging is. You have multiple development environment in which you start writing the code. You write your test cases in each of the code, and the code is tested against those test cases in each of the deployment to deploy in the production. Okay. So let's understand. There is still some problem here. There's still some problem here. Now, what I'm talking now is that how a company which is sitting across the globe is going to scale to a problem where people are writing codes at multiple offices location. Okay, multiple offices location, and then trying to deploy it to the production. Now, deploying to the production is a very, very challenging task. Understand, the service is already running in production. There are billions of people who are using the current service. Like right now, when I'm talking to you, there are thousands and thousands, hundreds and thousands of people in India which are using Alexa right now. So if I deploy something today into production without proper testing, I can bring down the entire Alexa and people will not be able to talk to Alexa right now. Same goes for retail, Amazon, right? So we have to give them an environment where they can write, multiple office location can write code on their own, then test together. And this is what the next avatar for these pipelines will be. I'll brush through a little quickly, but you understand this sandbox is the team which sales team is doing independently, let's say in Europe, and clickstream team is doing in India. These two teams are developing their code independently. They're testing it again, and then they're merging it to the main line, which has the multiple staging releases. Now, from the main line, the code first gets deployed into Europe, and let it sit down in Europe. Okay, so the code has got deployed into Europe. Maybe why Europe? Just because the traffic might be less. I want to first test my code into Europe and give it a bake time where it gets tested into the production. So then I deployed in North America where the traffic is high. and then again let it settle down, and then I make it globally available. So this is how in a large corporate, IT corporates, this is the entire end-to-end workflow in which we have done the code development. Now how I will deploy the code. Okay, so two things we have understood till now: how in a global environment, how my architecture will look like, and in a global environment, how the code deployment will look like, right? And how will I deliver my code to the production environment? Now, creation, preservation, and destruction. So we have learned about the creation, how I'm going to create the code and put it into the production environment. The next important thing is preservation, right? How we will make sure that whatever we have developed is running smoothly in production. How I make sure that Alexa, the service that I own on which the entire Alexa platform is running, is running right now while I'm talking to you guys. There's no issues in that. That's a very important thing, because the issues can arise not only at my desktop. Issues can arise in Europe, issues can arise in China, Australia, wherever. How will I make sure that I get notified even before customers get impacted? Because you know that Amazon is the Earth's most customer focused company, right? We treat customer as God. That's one thing that I like about Amazon, is that they treat their customers as God. Everything here starts from the customer. Now, so on the next few slides, I'll talk about how to monitor your services which are deployed globally. And I would highly encourage you guys to use these things for a very, very small, services or projects that you guys do, to test how these things work. So, and yeah, these are the reasons that I talked about, and we want to do health of my service. How well I know that before it does a customer impact, before the server of financial transaction goes down, the banks should know. Before the server for let's say a healthcare monitoring system goes down, the hospitals should know. So that is very, very important in today's arena. And hence, what we do is we have a solution there which is called CloudWatch, and similar solutions are available on our platform. But I know about Amazon, so I'll talk about that. So it's very simple. Just you keep collecting metrics from your service which is deployed. You monitor those metrics and apply thresholds, alarms on those metrics. And then once those thresholds are breached, let's say the threshold was 10,000 rupees spent on your card. When that was breached, you act upon that and then analyze it. All this is available in an automated way. For example, we'll take a very simple example here. Everybody wears this fitness watch, right? So it's a very simple use case. I need to be notified each time I cross my target 10,000 steps. So how does this work? You will collect the metrics in the daily step, configure the threshold. Let's say it is 10K steps. I have configured it. Then decide actions. What actions do I need to take once I reach the 10K steps? And then design a dashboard, all the visualization. Okay. And then give the recommendation, whatever you want to do. The moment I cross my 10K step, I should be notified, or you have achieved your daily target. And let's do a happy message, sad message, whatever it is. So it's very simple. This is my daily average. So if you see, here is where I'm collecting the matrices. Okay, yeah, so this is where, if you see, I'm collecting the matrices, okay, for daily average number of steps. And this is where I have set a threshold of 10K. So this is the threshold for 10K. The moment and any day I cross the threshold of 10K, I will get a notification which will tell me that you have crossed the threshold of 10K, and I will be presented with such statistics. Okay, this is how the service will do that. The moment you cross the threshold, an alarm will be triggered, a notification will be sent to background services. You can write your functions on that notifications, which will do all the data analysis that you guys study, and this will give you the daily average. I mean, the statistics, whichever way statistics you want to present. This is the presentation part of that. Okay, it's very simple. Now, for our service that we have developed, how will I do? So, for example, let's say we are collecting the fault rate. Is there any faults happening in my system? Point of sale system, clickstream system, and AWS, and I have set up a threshold at 3. The moment this threshold of fault rate is crossed, I will get a notification but something wrong is happening with your service. Can you please? And these thresholds I'll set at a level where before even breaching the customer trust, I get notified. So what happens is on this mobile, I have a pager setup. I have a Pong setup 24/7 wherever I am. If this fault rate crosses a certain threshold, immediately I will get paged on my phone. I will be notified. A phone call will come saying that this is the problem. Please log into your system and check what the problem is. Okay. So this is what these services allow to do. For example, let's say we are monitoring how much traffic a particular website, my website, Amazon.com or Flipkart.com or DaisheBank.com or Aadhaar UDI web, how much traffic that that website or a particular service is receiving. Now, if you remember, for hackers, it is a very common thing to deploy bots to send unnecessary traffic to your website to bring your website down. To monitor such kind of incidents, I will again monitor the traffic, set a threshold which is a safe threshold. The expected traffic is around 4 plus, and it can be 400 million users. The moment, anytime this breach happens, I will get notified that there is some unusual traffic that you're seeing at your service. Please go and check. The moment that happens, there are multiple actions that can be taken up, which we can talk about later. Similarly, CPU usage, right? You are deploying your service in a cloud environment in a host, right? So if your CPU is getting hogged up, there is too much of CPU usage that is happening. How do I take action? How will I get notified? There are thousands of CPUs that are working across. I don't even know in cloud infrastructure where my CPU is sitting. So I cannot monitor them because the CPU is allocated from the cloud services. All those CPU will send out the metrics. The metrics will be collected. The moment it crosses a certain threshold, I can take action that my CPU utilization is reaching 100%. CloudWatch will send me the alarms. And then instead of 1, I can have 3 CPU hosts. Okay. Yeah. So this is how exactly. I'm trying to understand in a global setting, sitting at my home, whether a service which is working in India or whether a service which is working in Kenya, Africa, Australia, wherever the service is deployed, how it is performing, and how will I get notified that my service, which is deployed in a global infrastructure, will before it impacts to the user, I get to notified and I can take a rectifying action. Okay. So if you see, we started from a very simple problem. We took a use case where there was a sales happening. There was somebody who's commenting on the sales. And from building on that, we understood what are my data requirements these days on a global setting, how the data platform looks like, what kind of services we can use to come up with a solution which will be globally available in the IT companies which we are going through. And then we also thought about not only about designing the architecture, but we also talked about if my teams are sitting in multiple locations, how will I make sure that the development and testing and deployment to production happens in a seamless way. There is no like you're syncing every day at 10 p.m. Let's check in the code. Nothing. You're totally independently work upon those things. And once the deployment has happened, how do I preserve? How do I maintain my services in the global platform? This is something which I wanted to give you a highlight, guys. That how my company Amazon and how companies like Flipkart and Google and Microsoft, they manage their services in the global platform. Hopefully I have managed to give you some idea about that. There's a lot of details that goes into this, and I'm happy to discuss this offline if you guys are interested. More than welcome. And I am ready to take your questions now. Sorry for talking too long. Krishna, are you there?
Okay, Siddharth. Yes, of course I'm here. But before I can put up some questions, I would like to tell you that while you were speaking, you were getting appreciation on my WhatsApp group from our university group and from your friends as well. So congratulations for giving us a nice session. And
sorry, I mean, guys, it's little too much to talk about that in 1 hour, but I've tried to keep it as simple as I can.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, and I would highly encourage Krishna and all the professors. Like, if you guys are doing hackathons or projects, think about these services. All the cloud platform services like Azure, Google Cloud, and Amazon, they offer a free tier limit. You guys should have an account. You can use all this CloudWatch, Amazon service, everything you can use into a free tier, and try to come up with a global application. Like, I know, Krishna, you work a lot upon the machine learning part of it, right? Pattern analysis and all. So how do you deploy models in your office, which will be available in Seattle for me to do the analysis, right? This is the challenge. Writing a model on a server that you have at home is not a problem. But how do you write a model which is you write at your home, deploy into a service, and it's available for everyone in the global arena to do the analysis is something which we should start thinking upon. And that's what my effort was to show you guys.
Yeah, you are quite right. And obviously, I'm going to put up some questions. But before I would just invite Director Ma'am if she has any query on this, or if she wants to suggest something so to our students related to this, or so that would be better. So,
Ma'am, you are on mute, I think.
Unmute and please unmute first. Director Ma'am, mute hai aap.
Thank you, Siddharth. This session was excellent. And I think the students had a lot to gain from this session. And you have given an insight of, how digitally things can be managed. And similarly, I mean, I think both of you, Siddharth and your friend, both of you talked about the hackathons. So the importance of hackathons among the students, and how we can, build things through machine learning, through artificial intelligence. I mean, I think if the students work on these platforms, they can really come up with innovations and things which can be very useful for the industry. So I think you've thrown light, and you've also, while I talked to you, you also talked about the, how the students, they can get into the internships into Amazon, and how they can, get into internships, and finally they can build a career with Amazon.
Yeah.
So I think that's something very heartening for the students. And just to tell you, give you a small information that this year 37 of our students, they have got job offers from Amazon at a good platform at a package of 30 lakhs. So that is,
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah. And there are another few who are in the pipeline. I mean, the interviews are still going on. So above 37 also, there are other few also who are in the pipeline, and they are trying to. But once things come from your technical expert, how they are, how they can get into the internships, our students and faculty would be more than happy to gear themselves up in that, on that side.
Definitely. Definitely, yes.
Guidance from your side will do wonders to the students.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you very much.
Definitely.
And one more thing, I would like to personally congratulate you. You are younger. So, being in USA, in Seattle, because my daughter, as I discussed with you, she's also there in Florida, in Tampa. So I know all about it. I've also traveled there, so I know things. So being in the top company in Amazon at a top level, and in the top, city of America. So congratulations to you as well for grooming yourself from a place like Allahabad and going up to Seattle and doing so well. So congratulations once again. We'll be in touch. We'll be in touch.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. Thank you.
And good of Krishna to bring both of you on this platform to interact with us.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So, Siddharth, we will not be leaving you even after this webinar. I will pursue this aspect of ours, that you will have to groom our students so that they can be very, very useful
Definitely.
for you, for Amazon as well, and internships and all, right?
Yeah.
So that is
this gap, Krishna. Again, for the students, this gap of knowledge which is available to us. We do a very good job in teaching our student how to do a good job in the colleges and the local arena. I think the gap of bringing that knowledge to a global platform is something which experts like us can work together with you guys, faculty, and the students to bring them to that stage, so that they're ready for the challenge which is like globally available.
Correct, correct. In fact, that was one of the questions that I have marked for you. I'm sitting with a pen and paper, so I was just listening to you, and this was one of the questions that I marked for you. So since you started with this, I will just put forward this question very first. That where do you think an average graduate student is an average graduate student stands in such a high level scenario? I mean, if a average undergraduate student or graduate student passes out and he joins a company corporate like Amazon, then where he lands himself at what stage in technical aspect in your entire cycle of events that you told?
Agreed. So I'll give you an example of my professional experience, personal experience, and then you can understand what stage you are at in and what you can do. While I was in ISRO, I was also in charge of interacting with multiple colleges and encourage people to use college project to develop satellites. And ISRO guides the student to develop the satellites, and they actually launch those satellites with the PSLVs. That the launches happened like last week, right? So one of the satellites, which is called HAMSAT, I have worked with the student from Manipal University, and they were all students. They had developed the satellite, which was weighing around 6-7 kgs, with the help of ISRO, and they have launched these satellites, and it is a regular phenomenon. It is not one of a phenomena. So you can understand, at a student level, people are developing satellites in India, and ISRO is helping them to launch that. So your opportunities, your things to do are not limited. It's only limited by your knowledge, your exposure. So get out, start doing the things. I had participated last year in February. I was participated with one of my friend in a hackathon in India, which the government of India had organized for DRPG, the global grievance portal. They wanted to take it to the next level, and I had participated in that hackathon. She was sitting in India and I was sitting here. We globally coordinated, and we ended up like fourth all over India in that. First, second, and third were all startups. Fourth, fifth, sixth were all individual and students who have come up from the college, and they ended up fourth, like fifth in the all over India level hackathons. So the way that I'm telling is, what I'm trying to tell you is, the opportunity is not because you have not, you cannot do it. The limit is only because you don't know what to do it. Start knowing about these things. Join the hackathon forums, right? And then you will get to know that what different places are happening and you can do it. Why I talked about internship with the ma'am is, the internship is a very, very good way for you to understand what is going along in the corporate world, and get you an exposure in 3 or 4 months of internship, that what goes into this corporate worlds, and come back and then perform that. Okay. So again, coming back to the question that you asked, Krishna, I think the challenge is, how do I give better exposure, better platform for my student? The opportunities are limitless. So don't worry about that.
All right. So I think that your response must have satisfied the students. And you see, the questions come from your answers. So I'm sitting here with 3 things. One is obviously the chat window. Then I'm sitting with my mobile, and I'm also jotting down the points from your presentation so that I can extract maximum from you from this session. So I have questions over here, and over there. So therefore, another question I would just like, because this has come from our student directly from the answer that you gave from to my last question. So this is from Abhay Dumka. He wants to ask a very pointed question: how to get internship in Amazon for data analyst role? If, I mean, you are in Seattle, if you can guide this student to somehow what to do if there is a chance.
Okay, for specific roles, yeah. So if you are studying data analysis, your internship will be related to data analysis. I mean, we also want to have 1:1 matching. अगर किसी को खाना बनाना आता है तो हम उसको दर्जी की दुकान पे नहीं रखेंगे. So yeah, so if you are studying data analysis, you are doing courses in data analysis, you have done good projects and works in data analysis, and you get selected into Amazon internship, you will get that role. So I think the problem is not how will I get data analysis, how will I get internship at Amazon. Mapping will be done accordingly. So getting an internship at Amazon, I think there are two ways. I don't think that individual applications are encouraged there. We will have to work together with Delhi, Chennai, Hyderabad, and Bangalore centers so that your college gets listed into those internship if it is not already done. So once those internship listing is done, the Amazon will broadcast that these are my internship openings. These are the different openings in the different areas. The internship also gets a very healthy stipend. So it's the amount of interns that companies can take is limited. You also go through a basic interview at your level, so you have to prepare good for that. But if you get through the internship, the good part of Amazon is that they don't limit the capability of the student. Like today, I am working on Alexa. Right? Tomorrow, if I want to move to, let's say, robotics, so I'm free to move. If I have the capability, I am very free to move into robotics tomorrow. And there's a lot of work that is happening on robotics today. We are developing machines which can automatically deliver stuff at your doorsteps without even the Google Maps will be built into that. It will just pick up the packages from the store, drive through, walk through to your doorstep, deliver and come back. No human intervention. Anyhow, coming back to your question, yes. So internship, getting into internship, we have to work with the college and the company to get the college registered and listed and start working on the internship. You're getting onto the right stream is something which is already taken care. You don't worry about that.
Okay, thanks, Siddharth. And since, as I said, so Abhay, thanks you for this. And as I said, questions come from your answers. So you just...
Yes, and my answers are like that. As I said, right? Questions, yes, I should encourage questions and answering. This is all how we have been developed. Where we are sitting today is because we have the culture of questioning everything. Right? We don't just believe. We just don't believe. We question everything, and hence we get so much knowledge.
So this question comes from our friend Rohit. So he's also listening to your talk, and he asks, since you mentioned Alexa and AI next level, so his question is, what is the next level of AI? I mean, what will Alexa be able to do in next, say, 10 years from now?
Okay, very interesting question. I keep listening to a lot of talks on artificial intelligence, and let me give you a comparison of where artificial intelligence stands today. So there was one very famous physicist of Japan who was asked this question, that where does artificial intelligence stands today in terms of comparison with human, right? So if let's say we keep human as a benchmark of the intelligence, the artificial intelligence today is sort of a butterfly. So how much intelligence butterfly has in comparison with human, we stand today. If you see, there has been a lot of improvement in artificial intelligence, but the major credit to improvement of artificial intelligence has gone through the processing power that we have developed, not by the algorithms or intelligence that we have developed. Software is still the same, but the amount of data that you can process, the amount of information that you can process today has grown to multiple n-folds than what it could be done 5 years or 10 years below. And hence you see a lot of data intelligence coming. But we are still very, very far away. Not discouraging the people, but yes, what I see today is that the conversation today is very limited to single turns and like, Alexa, how is the weather? Alexa, can you play my music? What these smart speakers are getting into is more natural conversation like me and you are doing. Krishna or students who are working on contextual analysis of the word, something which is called BERT, if you guys know, those are the technologies which Google, Amazon are developing, where they can understand the context of the conversation, right? Like I'm talking to Krishna and responding to Rohit's question right now, but I can also say, and as the previous question said, that for the internship, you can, by the way, do internship in Alexa also. Why? Because I remember the context. Not only now, I remember the context of 35 years ago when me and Krishna personally or Rohit personally used to meet. But can a computer do that? No, absolutely not. So this contextual analysis or contextual carryover in your natural conversation is something which all the companies are focused towards, right? The naturalness of conversation is coming from because I know the context in which I'm talking. If I'm saying stop, I'm not saying stop to someone else. I'm saying stop to the question which is being asked or the intruder that is being asked. So 10 years, I don't know where it will land because we are not seeing that breakthrough in the technology. But yes, what I'm saying is the conversation will be more natural. You will be talking to Alexa or the smart speakers in a more natural way than it happens today. It will be your personal assistant in everything which is happening. The things like bridging the gaps between me and my parents who are sitting there in India. The time zone is different. So I can be virtually present and talk. That's another area with augmented reality which is happening. Instead of speaker, I can be talking to my parents in a holographic ways, which is possible right now. I mean, a very limited form of that is possible right now, where you can just show a picture and a person will pop up and they will start talking to you. So digital marketing and media people are using those technologies, which is called augmented reality technology.
Augmented reality, right? Actually, you are very pertinent because I was thinking of this topic, augmented reality, for some of our future webinars. So I'm still under that thought process. So I will let you know if you can say something about augmented reality in future. So we have taken questions. I have two questions from my side.
Please, definitely.
So you will have to respond to that. And but we are very much in sync with time, and we are actually bang on time. So the first question is probably you have thrown some light on this, but I would just like to repeat it or highlight it. How should a final year student approach a final year project? Actually, we have final year project. So can you tell in a few sentences how they must go for a project so that the project itself becomes a CV for them? So what should they think of?
That's a great question.
Siddharth, before you answer that question, I have something more to add to the question.
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Yes, please. Please, ma'am.
Sorry to interrupt in between. Actually, the students, they prepare their seminar in third year, and then they have a minor project in 7th semester and they have a major project in 8th semester. So how should they focus in all the 3 or 4 semesters so that they can work upon a certain technology and excel in that? And what should be the focus of the technology in which they should work?
Okay, very good. Great questions. And there are two aspects that we are talking about. One is completing the project because it is part of the course. That's one thing that everybody does. You can do it very well. You can complete the project, you will get the grades, fine. My suggestion would be, if you have a passion in certain things, don't limit it to only to the project time frame. 3 months का time आपको allocate किया, आप project करना है, चलो project करते हैं, 3 महीने में खत्म करना है. Keep working on that round the year. For example, there are global hackathons happening around the year which have credits to multiple companies. Keep watching those hackathons. One of the very famous platform is Kaggle. Right? I don't know whether how many students have used it, but I would highly encourage for all the people who are trying to pursue their interests in data analytics, machine learning, and whatnot, go to Kaggle, have an account, and try to see what kind of projects people are doing. Okay, one very basic to start with. You can, and Kaggle keeps hosting the global competitions also, global, local, and everywhere competitions they keep hosting. So go there, create an account, look at some previous year competitions, what people have done, and try to replicate them. Can you just take the code, what the code is available, the data is available, everything is available.
Hello.
Take that code, try to replicate that first, and whether you understand everything in that or not. If you understand, can you do one thing different in that? Can you give one more insight into what people have already done? And keep doing it and keep submitting it to Kaggle. So this gives you a visibility at the global level. If at the time of COVID, there was a lot of challenge that was thrown away by multiple people who were trying to do some insights, including government of India and across the globe, right? Kaggle had a very good competition which was running above. So try to participate in these online global hackathons, and by literally by just sitting at your home, you can make your presence on a global platform. So this is a very, very good way for round the year. First of all, you keep yourself updated with the latest technology. Plus, you interact with multiple people. When you make team, don't make team with your college mates. Okay, make teams with global people who are available. So there was a hackathon which was organized by NASA in last May, and they were opening up teams. They had I can register and I can participate with anyone across the globe, form a team and then do it. And they had multiple rooms like this they were running, and they were also having subject matter expertise which was sitting in that room. So understand the amount of exposure that you get in these kind of competitions, and you also understand where do you stand, what are the other people trying to use, and all those things. So keep participating in these competitions. These are happening because it's a digital world today. It's happening at the ease of sitting in your home. You can participate in that and understand what people are doing globally. So that's my 1 point suggestion. Have an account on GitHub, have an account on Kaggle, have an account of Indian website for hackathon. I don't remember that website name, but there's a website which keeps doing the hackathon at the all India level, right? Competition. So keep doing that. Don't form team with your college, but I mean, it's okay to form, but also form teams with other colleges. Try to make friends and networking in other colleges, what are happening globally, and try to see what people are doing. So this is one very short way where you can make your presence. And if you do good in those projects, you can write in your resume. Companies know that the importance of Kaggle, right? Companies know the importance of GitHub, where if you have delivered something, automatically that code is available to multiple people. I can go and verify your code repository in GitHub and see whether you have actually written some good code or bad code. So your work should speak for you rather than resume. That's what the question was, I think, right? My work should speak for me.
Right, Siddharth. So the question was very much, as you said, it was that your project should be your CV, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
I think
my work should speak for me. Agree.
Yeah. So this was a pointed answer, and I would like to tell you that there are students who actually have account on Kaggle. So I would like, if the students are listening to this, so I would like that all the students must have account, and they should look at, as Siddharth says, that what are the actual global projects that are going on. So that would be really beneficial. Not a handful of students, but majority of students should have account on Kaggle and all. So, and those who have account on Kaggle and are not taking it seriously, start taking it seriously, right? That's the point that Siddharth wants to make. Right. So, and one final question, since you are generous enough to take all the questions, and you have just we are really thankful that you woke up early in the morning for this session. So, and you are taking questions. So this reminds me of our college days when we used to wake up in the morning and have deliberations over topics. So here we are. You are in the morning and we are deliberating over topics. So one final question for you. Actually, I like the words that you used. Srishti, Sthiti, and Sanghar.
Everything is encompassed into that, right? I mean, everything, creation, preservation, and destruction. That's everything goes through this cycle. Even software does. We have not talked about destruction. We will talk about destruction. That is refactoring of the code in the next this thing.
Wonderful. So I think you are the first one who made references to these words, Srishti, Sthiti, and Sanghar in terms of project code. Wonderful. So just one point, not a question, that you, in the beginning of your session, you related your presentations with a guru and shishya talks, right? So, but one thing I would like that there is yet another wonderful guru and shishya talk in the form of Gita. between Krishna and
I
Arjun.
did not take that example specifically because
Yeah.
people would have related it. I just
Right,
wanted
right.
to test. I did not quoted Arjun and Krishna there because yeah,
Right.
it's a question and answer again, right?
Right. So I think I must thank Siddharth Singh. That was really very nice on his part, and we are all grateful that he just woke up in the morning and spared his time for all of us. Thanks, Siddharth. And if anyone else wants to say something, then you are welcome. And but now I ask Bhaskar sir to please take over and carry on the session towards the end. And Siddharth, by the way, you are getting congratulations for a nice session. Thanks.
Thank you.
So,
Thanks a lot for this opportunity. I'm
so
really excited. Yeah. Thanks
okay.
a lot. Thank
Bhaskar sir, please take over.
Okay, thank you, Tripathi sir. Thank you so much, Siddharth sir and Mridu sir, for your highly informative session. And truly speaking, your sessions are very enlightening, and I'm very much sure that all of our students, all the attendants, along with faculty members, will get benefited with your talk. Now, I would like to invite our head of the department, IT, Professor Dr. M.S. Sharma, to present the vote of thanks. Sir, please.
Thank you, Bhaskar sir, for giving me the opportunity to present the vote of thanks for this event. Any event of this scale requires the coordination among various entities for its successful execution. MAIT has always aspired to conduct technical events on topics which directly relate to society. IT department has worked in line with this principle. I am excited to tell you that more than 600 participants attended today's event on MST and live YouTube. On behalf of organizing committee, I would like to express our gratitude to Dr. Nand Kishore Garg, founder and chief advisor, MAITS and Chancellor Maharaja Agrawal University, Himachal Pradesh, who as a head of our family has constantly motivated us for all social and technical activities. Also, we have constant patronage of Sri Vinit Kumar Gupta, Chairman MAITS, Sri S.P. Agrawal, retired IAS, Executive Chairman MAITS, and Engineer T.R. Garg, General Secretary MAITS. Today's event was organized with a view to introduce students and teachers of various disciplines to the technological infrastructure used in big corporate. This would never have been possible without the time and efforts of our guest speakers, Mr. Mridul Mahan, Head of Investment Banking Technology, Deutsche Bank India, and Mr. Siddharth Singh, Senior Technical Program Manager at Amazon Seattle, USA. I am also thankful to Mr. Mridul Mahan for acknowledging the gesture for our Honorable Chairman, sir, to consider hiring of students of MAIT to DB Bank, which is the 7th largest bank of the world. I appreciate the kind of gesture by Mr. Mridul Mahan to facilitate every possible association of MAIT with the Deutsche Bank India. I am aware of the time it is in USA. Mr. Siddharth Singh was gentle enough to wake up at 4:30 in the morning for this event. Thank you, Mr. Siddharth Singh. This event was conceived and executed in a short span of preparation. I thank Professor Dr. M.L. Goel, Vice Chairman, Academics MAITS, Professor Dr. Neelam Sharma, Director MAIT, and Professor Dr. S.S. Deswal, Dean MAITS, for their support and cooperation to carry out this activity. I thank Professor Dr. Razveer Mittal, HOD Tripoli, Professor Dr. Namita Gupta, HOD CSC, Professor Dr. S.K. Mathur, HOD ECE, Professor Dr. V.N. Mathur, HOD MAE, Professor Dr. Chandra Prakash, HOD Applied Sciences, Dr. Vaibhav Jain, HOD ME, and Dr. Amit Gupta, HOD MBA, for their constant support and critical suggestions for this activity. I appreciate the efforts of our conveners, Professor Dr. Amita Goel and Dr. K.C. Tripathi, for taking the initiative to carry out this event and for successful coordination among team members. I appreciate the efforts of our organizing team members, Dr. Bhumi Gupta, Mr. Ajay Kumar Kaushik, Ms. Nidhi Sengar, Mr. Vinay Kumar Seni, Ms. Vasudha Bhel, Mr. Bhaskar Kapoor, Ms. Meenu Garg, Mr. Vibhor Sharma, Mr. Nitesh Kumar, Ms. Shreya Kapoor, Mr. Saurabh Gautam, Ms. Arushi Jain, Mr. Sachin Garg, Dr. Sunil Maggu, Ms. Shalu Basambu, Ms. Narendra Kaur, Dr. Neha Agarwal, Ms. Vandana Chaudhary, Ms. Namita Goyal, Mr. Varun Goyal, Ms. Neha Singh, Dr. Anu Rathi, Ms. Shikha Gupta, and Ms. Sima Colonia. I thank all the faculty members of IT department for their kind contribution towards making this webinar a success. Thanks are due to our Mr. Alok Kumar Sharma, Assistant Professor CSA Department, Mr. Anupam Kumar, Assistant Professor CSA Department for their help in handling the technical aspects for this logistic arrangements for this webinar. I thank Mr. Yashpal for his technical support. I extend my thanks to all technical and non-technical staff members of IT department for their support. No event can be successful without the audience for whom the event is intended. I thank all the participants from various academic institutions who took part in this event. Thank you all for encouraging us. This huge support is overwhelming. With this, I hand over to Bhaskar sir. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our HOD sir for his valuable thoughts and for always encouraging and motivating each and every member of the IT department for striving to do our best. Sir, without your valuable guidance, this event would not have been possible. Now, I would like to request to all of you to please turn on your camera, your webcam, so that we can capture the frame of this happy moment with us. I would like to request Dr. Sunil Maggu sir to please take some screenshots. Sunil sir. Yes, all of you, please turn on your camera. Have you done, Sunil sir?
I think many people are not there. Yes, now people are now we are turning on the cameras. So please wait for a while. I think. Siddharth, you please turn on the camera.
I have turned on.
Yeah, but.
So, is there any other option? I mean, I have been waiting for more than.
But your video is not visible. Maggu sir, आप देख पा रहे हैं सिद्धार्थ जी का वीडियो?
No sir, no.
नहीं दिख रहा है.
Visible है, visible है.
Visible है sir.
Visible है तो okay.
It's visible sir.
Okay.
Sunil sir, have you done?
Yes sir. Just a minute sir. Last.
Okay sir.
Done sir, done.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Sunil sir. Thank you so much. Now I request you all to please fill the feedback form available in the chat box in your Telegram group and on your registered email ID also, which is enabled till 9 o'clock today and help us to improve in our future endeavors. Now I would like to congratulate Professor Dr. Amita Goel and Dr. KC Tripathi sir, conveners of this international webinar on digital infrastructure and corporate, along with all the teams and members associated directly or indirectly with the event. I also thank all the participants for sparing your valuable time and making this event a grand success. Thank you all for joining us today for this webinar. Stay blessed and stay safe. Have a good day. Thank you, sir.